Hi, Angela here with Nana Faye's Reborn Nursery, and I'm going to paint some veining today. I have the Kimberly kit from Bountiful Baby. She's a real-born, and she's already had a primer or a vinyl prep with Luminaire's vinyl prep. I'm ready to start doing veining because that's the first step that I like to take. I like to get that underneath everything. And I'm looking to make sure she doesn't have any places where I got the vinyl just a little bit too heavy on there. It looks good. But I'm going to start mixing my paint. The paint that I'm using is Daler Rowling, I believe. But it's just a set of paints that my daughter got when she went to Walmart. And they had a reasonable price and they're a good paint. For veining, I'm going to use bottled water, always bottled water, because if you use water that's not bottled water, like from your tap, if it's not a distilled water, you have a good chance of having problems with it. Now I'm going to take just a tiny bit of this blue, and I have way too much water, so I'm going to pour some in my little bowl. I use that little bowl for painting most of the time, but not when I'm doing veining, because you don't need near the amount of water, because you're going to want it to be a little bit thicker. You're going to want your blue to show up. You can look at your veins and see that, oh, well, my veins are a little less of that dark blue color on my body, so I might just take and add a tiny bit of green when I get the right consistency that I think I want, because I have blue-green veins, and when I do veins, I do a lot of looking at my own arm to see what it actually looks like, because nobody's veins are going to be alike, but it gives you an idea of what you can look for. And it's a dark color, a little less. More of a blue-greeny color. I think I like that one better for the most part. Not quite as bright, but I still want it thicker. And because I'm so slow, because I am slow, you will see me pulling into the water. That's why I'm leaving the water there, because my paint will start to thicken up, because I'm using air dry paints. Air dry paints, you have to work fast. If you don't work fast, they're going to dry, and they'll do the same thing on your kit. So you have to be sure that you're ready to mop up stuff with a sponge in order to keep it from drying out on there. I'm going to wet my sponge just a little bit. This is a used sponge that was washed. I have a tendency to use them over and over again until there's virtually nothing left of them, because it's still usable. It has nothing in it. It was washed with dish soap along with my paint brushes. So I'm going to start at the back of the head, because the first painting makes me think, okay, I want to make sure I've got the right color. So if I start back here, yeah, I like that color. And I just start doing lines, and then I dab off. You have to dab them off. You don't want to leave them completely whole, and you want to not dab off the same amount everywhere. I don't know if you can see that. I think I might want to pick up the camera just a tad bit. Okay. And let's go ahead and bring some more. You have veins everywhere, and you have a lot of veins in your head. Realizing it or not, you do. Husband's come down the stairs to spy on me to see what it looks like I'm doing. Kind of snickering probably. Sometimes you're going to put these veins under hair, and sometimes you're not. Sometimes your baby will scream, "I'm a bald baby." And then you don't want to have really messed up veins. This one's a little dark. Add a little water. Some people who use the paint that you can bake, they have a little more forgiving nature than the acrylics. The acrylics are going to stick where you put them. Kimberly is a kit that I've had sitting around for a while and just didn't actually get to doing. So I like to make my veins more squiggly than some people that I've seen do. And realize as you're painting your veins, you're going to have lots of coats of paint over the top of this. So it's not going to be straight out veins like you see here. You're going to have layer after layer of paint. I'm going to quit talking. Do some veining. If you'd like to join me, I'm going to take you along on each step of this and let you see the different things that I do when I paint one of my babies. This baby's going to be painted with the acrylics completely. So we're going to use the primary method, which is where you just use the red, blue, and yellow as much as possible. There will be times when I will mix some colors like for fingernails and that type of thing, but most of the time it's going to be just straight red, blue, and yellow. Think. Is my hand in the way? Probably so. I've seen this vein put on dolls previously, or babies, reborn babies, and I always have liked it because I had a little brother when I was very young that had a very deep vein there, but you only saw it mostly when he was angry. But it still makes me feel good to see it there and know that it reminds me of him. I know babies have veins on their face, but there's more fatty tissue in the face, and I don't like putting so many on there. I do like, however, to have some coming from my eyes most of the time. There's lots of blood flow coming from the eyes in a real life situation. So I just try to mimic life. The goal is to make the babies look as realistic as possible. So a lot of babies, you're going to see that they do bluing. They do a bluish tone right here, and I like to put a bluish tone here on some of my babies. But I like to be able to know that there's actually vein work in the blue, and that it wasn't just, because that's what the undertones are suggesting, that there's veining there. Well, I'd like to put the bluing in there with the veining. So also don't want it to pool, because acrylics, if it pools up, it will look like it beaded there. So I don't want it to do that. Okay, I think we're there, because the acrylic, like I said, they're not very forgiving. So I think we have a dark place with the vein there. That helps give your baby character. It makes your baby look more realistic when the doll decides where the veins are going to be, or when the doll decides the tone that's going to be set whenever you see a color.